Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert. Welcome back to the TED Show. We are celebrating Black History Month all month long on the TED Show. February is Black History Month. And I'm super excited to have friends here. We work together, we play together. We're having a good time, but mostly they are professionals. I respect them greatly, and they are wonderful human beings. We have, I'm not going to point because it's opposite. I have Chelby Afrifa here and Tangy Tunstall here, and they are with EXP, but they have so much to share. They've got some really cool stuff going on. I'm so proud of them for doing the post that they did. And welcome to the show, ladies. How are you today?
Hi, thank you.
All right. Look, see, it's not as bad and nobody's biting. We're here at the Citrus Club kind of talking through everything. It's fascinating because I feel like Black History Month, people want to celebrate it, but they don't know how, or maybe they have an idea of how to celebrate it and think everybody else is celebrating it the same way. So one of the reasons why we do this series is so I can get an insight, and the audience can, on how you celebrate. But before we talk about Black History Month, let's talk about you all individually. If you can each give them, and we'll start with Chelby, we'll go in alphabetical order.
Look at
that. We will go with Chelby first. They love origin story. They want to know a little bit about you, maybe your journey to becoming a realtor. And then once we do that, we'll take a deep dive. So Chelby. See how opposite it is? It's crazy. Chelby, introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you.
Hi, guys. Chelby Afrifa, your Central Florida realtor. I've been in real estate for a couple of years now, and I actually started in the financial industry. So that's my background. I'm a mother of two beautiful young ladies, and my husband is a first responder, and we love it here in Central Florida.
I love that. So you were in financial and you jumped to real estate. How are you feeling about that?
I did. I really think, and we'll get into this at the end, I really think I should have done this a long time ago. Yep. So I'm where I'm supposed to be.
I love that. All right. Thank you. Tangy. Tangy.
Yes.
Tangy, tell us a little bit about you.
So, hi, everyone. I'm Tangy Tunstall. I am, of course, also with EXP Realty. I started real estate about 4 years ago, so this is officially my 4th year.
Ooh.
Yay!
Congratulations!
I didn't dye it.
You still have hair.
I still have hair.
It's not gray. You're in good shape.
So a little bit about myself. I was born and raised here in Florida, and I guess that's not a normal thing.
No, that's a big deal. You're a native.
I am a native. I'm a Florida native. My whole family is pretty much here. Have a passion for animals, have a passion for real estate. Prior to real estate, I was a veterinary technician for 7 years.
I love
So
that.
I still get people calling me about those animal problems, and I'm like, oh yeah, sure, let's do this. This is what they need.
Good to know.
Yeah,
Duly
I know,
noted.
right? So strong passion for that. Let's see. I don't know what else to say.
So what attracted you to real estate? Why real estate?
Oh, wow. So I think the thing that attracted me to real estate, and this is on a very personal note, my mom, when I was 14, how old was I? I wasn't 14. I want to say 16-ish. We actually went through a foreclosure. So that is, I think, what intrigued me to get into real estate and start studying it, because I didn't understand at the time what was going on. So we went through that foreclosure process. Nobody wants to go through that. And especially as a child, getting pulled away from your home, not understanding what's going on, having to go from a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home in a very nice neighborhood to an apartment, downsizing from a 1,500 square foot house to an 800 square foot apartment.
Wow.
It definitely made me open my eyes. And that's primarily the reason I got into real estate.
Which is why you want to help people.
Exactly.
And I think that's important. I think a lot of people outside the real estate world believe that real estate's all this high fashion, highfalutin, limousines. You're going to parties all the time. Once in a while, right? It happens. But the everyday of it is you're really, truly helping people either realize their dream of owning a home, selling an asset that they have. You guys are really making people's lives. You're changing people's lives. And I think that that's so important. All right, let's talk about Black History Month. Before we went live, I said, I've had a few people on already for our series, and some of them did not really know how to answer this question. And the reason I wanted to do the series wasn't just to highlight and spotlight amazing leaders and advocates and human beings like Tangy and Chelby. It was to explain to an audience that may not understand why we have a Black History Month, why it's important. So I picked on Chelby first. I'm going to pick on Tangy. So Tangy, talk about Black History Month. Do you celebrate it? And if you do, what do you do? And why is it important for us to have a Black History Month?
So, yes, I do celebrate Black History Month. And the things that I do to celebrate Black History Month, I will randomly Google Black-owned restaurants, Black-owned businesses. I try to support a lot of the Black businesses here in Central Florida. I'm originally from Cocoa, Florida, so I go back home. Any Black businesses there, I try to support. People make T-shirts, they do soaps, all that kind of stuff. So I go back home and I try to give back in that sense. Also, speaking of home, my grandmother, she was part of the NAACP. She also integrated Wusthof Hospital in Rockledge, so she was the first Black nurse there.
Oh my God, that's so cool. I love that.
So she has a street named after her. She had a community center in Cocoa, Florida. She had daycare. So she did all these great things, and she was a really big leader in the Brevard County community. And it inspires me more to become that sort of leader and celebrate Black History Month alongside her. She's not with us anymore, but she left that with us.
It's got a great legacy. What were you worried about, by the way, of you talking on camera? You have no. She was so nervous. It's like, why are you nervous? You're perfect. You both are. Shelby, how about you? Same question. Why do you celebrate? And if you do, how do you celebrate? And why do you feel like why it's important?
I think I'm just a little more intentional in February about the conversations that I have and my actions. I mean, I have 2 daughters that are growing up, and if I leave it to school to try and teach anything to them about our history, it's going to be probably the same people that we hear about all the time. So we definitely have a lot more conversations about history. And when you think about it, we are Black history. So, I mean, we celebrate it yearly, but we think of it as February just being the anniversary. So just a little more intentional on what we talk about and what we do. So
I love that. I think it's important for us to be intentional. And I think it was interesting as an ancient white man. When I wanted to do this, I thought, okay, how am I going to approach it? And what that forced me to do is realize that I have to encourage people to ask the questions. If you don't understand why, I even sent an email to some friends and I said, I know it's Black History Month, do I say African American in there? And so but the dialogue, having that open communication, be able to ask those questions in a respectful, loving, kind way is the only way for all of us to learn and to understand.
That's true.
And what you mentioned earlier about your grandmother, Tangy, I love that because there are so many local leaders, advocates who are leaving a mark on our world. And it is so important to recognize that and to celebrate that and to get out there. And it's only 1 month as far as Black History Month, but you all live it every single day. Let's talk about, you have something you want to share. You've got this big deal going on. We have a link. Talk about it because you came to me really excited about it. And I was excited for you. So tell them, and I want you to elaborate because I don't know all the details. So talk about it.
All right. Tangy, you want me to go? You got it.
So I guess I will start off, and Chelby, you can pick up.
Gotcha.
So a friend of mine, also a colleague, Amel, which you know Amel as well. Hi, Mel. We were just chatting it up in the office, and I was letting her know how excited I was to be on the show, me and Chelby. And she was like, so what are you guys going to do? This, that, and the other. So I was telling her, I was like, but I really, we want to make an impact. We want to do something different. So she goes, well, for your community, why don't you sponsor an agent? And I was like, okay, why don't we sponsor 2 agents? And then, so rolling off of that idea, I came to Chelby with the idea on Wednesday, and I asked her, would she be interested? So we've been brainstorming this for, a couple of days. We kind of have everything pretty much together. We got the numbers ready. We're ready to talk to Ted about that. But Chelby, you want to make the huge announcement?
Right.
Throw it that way.
Here we go. Do I need to have a sip of my water?
Yes.
So So speaking of Black history, what we want to do is pay it forward. And like Tangy mentioned, the big opportunity is for 2 young adults, 18 and older, who are very serious about getting to the real estate industry and maybe having some issues because of funding, because real estate is expensive to get into. We have decided that we will have an opportunity for 2 individuals to apply, and we will sponsor them to actually get started in the real estate industry.
Look at your smiles light up. You know, I love.
I was smiling, spending money.
But what you're doing, you're empowering them, and you're getting them on a career path that they may have had obstacles getting to. And how wonderful is that? So tell them a little bit more. Are they going to apply? How do they reach you? What are we going to do? And by we, I mean, well, I'll help them, but it's them. It's their idea, their brainchild. I love it.
So we do have a Facebook group that we just started. It is called Reach. So we are both admins on there. We will be sending out that link. I don't know if we have it up on the show yet.
I have a long link up there, but we're going to change it and make it. But I'm still going to put the link in the comments later so you guys can follow it and click on it.
Yes. So you guys can request to join that group. And then one of us, me or Shelby, will go ahead and approve you. And then we are going to have like an essay system. We haven't quite nailed that down, how we want to operate that. We're going to be discussing that after. But pretty much applying, basically, we're going to do an interview system as well. You guys are going to come in. We're going to get a feel for you. And this is pretty much, I think we decided on an all paid sponsorship. So it's going to cover your Orlando Regional Realtor Association fees, your MLS fees, signing on to the brokerage, your class as well to get started in real estate. So over $2,000 to get started in real estate that we're going to be going ahead and trying to promote and get 2 young adults ready to start their careers.
It's so, I hear you all talk about it, I get choked up. It's a beautiful offer. And what I love is that you're so excited about it. You are passionate about it. You want to help out. And that's the whole giving back and the advocacy that I talked about both of you having. I think it's just so important to give back. And the fact that you're both excited about it makes it even more wonderful and amazing. So we have that link going. I'll put the link in the comments so it's easier for you all to click on it, because this one is not clickable. What are you expecting? Are you expecting a whole bunch of people to come in and say, oh my God, I want to do it? Are you nervous about having to eliminate people? Like, this is a big deal because it can be a life changer. It can totally change the trajectory of someone's life because you guys are willing to do this.
I'm not really nervous about having to eliminate anyone. I didn't mean to sound cold in that response. I think the person who is prepared and ready and hungry and thinking about real estate will actually take this opportunity to use this gift and get started. I mean, had I had this when I was getting out of high school, I don't know if at that point I would have said, real estate as opposed to the career path that I chose before getting here. But I don't want that to be a hindrance from anybody. So again, we're paying it forward. It's Black History Month. We love the opportunity that we've been able to provide. So no, you guys, if you're serious, you're going to write an essay, you're going to be doing interviews. So it's a process. But I mean, I'm ready for it. I hope you are.
We're ready for it. Where did the idea come from?
So it really, like, me and Amel literally have a conversation, and I was just like, ding, ding, ding. That's a great idea. And so not only for Black History Month, and me and Shelby kind of touched on this on Wednesday, but this might be something that we aspire to do this maybe every 6 months, maybe every quarter, because Shelby looked up the statistics, and only about 5% of realtors are African American. And
crazy.
Yeah, I believe that comes from the household not having the funds to get started. It's expensive. And I was just saying the other day, I remember going into Keller Williams at the time and trying to sign up for real estate after I did my school, I did my fingerprints, I did all that stuff. And it was like, oh, you need to sign up for Aura. And it was $1,200. And like, literally, it was a roller coaster. And it's like, okay, I was up here, I passed my test, and now I'm back here to where I have to come up with $1,200. And at the time, we didn't have the funds to do that. My mother didn't have the funds. I paid for myself. And I literally was like, okay, give me a week. I went and worked, and I got extra money, and I put my whole paycheck towards real estate.
Nice.
All right.
So that's an investment, because that to me, that's the investment. You you really do have to invest what they are creating for the two lucky, blessed human beings. Is you don't have to jump through that monetary hoop that everyone else has to, which can be a devastating challenge, just like you faced. And a lot of times as you're going through the path, you don't realize it until it's right there, which is what you had. All of a sudden, you've got to come up with $1,200. You're like, well, I didn't realize that was it. The industry as a whole needs to do a better job at explaining that to our new agents. But I love the fact that you guys are doing this. All right. Tell them the best way they can reach each of you, how they can find out more. We've got that link and I will put it in the comments, but how can they find you all?
Well, social media is great. My email is shelbyrealtor@gmail.com. You can find me at Shelby Realtor on any social media site. Our actual Facebook page for the group is Reach. And like Ted said, he'll be providing a clickable link for that as well. And what about you, Tangy?
So my email address is super long. So we're not going to go through that. But you guys can reach out to me on Facebook. My business Facebook is Tangy. You guys are not going to be able to spell my real name, but that's if you type in Tanganyika and anybody can spell that.
Is that how you say it, Tanganyika? Yes. I was going to ask you. That was my next question.
Yes, it's actually the third deepest lake in the world. So you can type in lake and start spelling it, and that's how you spell my name. It's spelled, it's spelled the exact same way.
Remember.
Now, who's going to forget that? Well, both of you are just inspiring, and I mean that from the heart. You do so much good work. You're wonderful to work with. But I love the fact that you have this advocate, supporter, mentor kind of heart. And giving back is so important. That comes from a place of abundance versus lack. And we should do an entire series on that. But what a blessing to know both of you, to be for you to be in my life. You guys are awesome. And I'm so excited for this. I can't wait to meet the two people who are going to benefit from this awesome idea that you all have. So reach out to Tangy, reach out to Shelby. You can't find them. I don't know why, but reach out to me. And I'm going to put the link for Reach in the comments that is clickable. And you guys get involved if you've been thinking about real estate. And if you have been wanting to do it, but are afraid because of the monetary barriers, this could be your ticket. So make sure you reach out to Shelby and Tangy. Thank you both for being on the show. See, it wasn't quite as painful, was it, Tangy?
It wasn't.
All right.